Welcome back to another episode of Talk Self, and I'm your host, Sylvia Gina Hunt. And today, I have some real youth that's just a jack of all trades. Mr. Anthony Obas.
Obas, yeah.
Yes, and Obas, I have to tell you, your story is just amazing. And all of the things that you do at your young age of just simply 20, that is just great. You know what I mean? That you already expired, you're inspiring yourself to reach those goals and so many goals. And it's just wonderful. So without any delay, the conversation and the dialogue is going to be coming from you from this point on. So just tell me what made you get started in all of these things that you do.
I mean, originally, I was a football player, track athlete. I went to Xavier High School down on 16th Street. Okay. And I was so involved in the athletic career, you know, but I didn't want to just be that athlete. I wanted to be also that student, because every time I was playing sports, it was, hey, you have to be a student and an athlete. So I took involved with student government. I took in charge in doing HAPS, a mentoring program, in school. And it was just it was such a great experience, you know what I mean? Just being constantly involved. And to this day now, I just can't see myself not being involved. Right. So even still, so now, you know, I didn't get a lot of offers for track or football, whatever. You know, things change in your path to go to be successful. Right. So I went to Syracuse University. I was like, you know what, I got to do this, 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 you know. Okay. And I ended up applying for radio, and I was like, yo, I'm gonna be the best radio person now. I'm gonna be the next Charlamagne the God. Yeah, okay. And you like music, or you like sports? And I wanted to do. I called my show Too Hot for Hip Hop. And my co-host was Sean Pena at the time. Okay. And we used to do Freestyle Fridays, bring upcoming artists from Syracuse into the studio, do freestyles. We still do it now. Okay. And it was mostly hip hop, but then I was just like, you know what? I'm kind of, you know, only making it just hip hop. So I want to make it just, you know, everybody. It broad. Yeah, made it broad. So I changed it to Kicking It with DJ O, with Sean Pena in the background as well too. So he was on the 1s and 2s for us, 3s and 4s. We called with 3s and 4s because all we did was take the aux and plug it into the laptop. Right. But then which is the new DJ process. New DJ process, right? I mean, I used to be rhythm, and I used to love the music and mix up music and everything. Exactly. So I'm listening to these artists, and I'm like, I want to help these artists. I want to help them so badly to make it, you know, good, because the game is different now. Right. You know, you have all this streaming. You know, back in the old days, you know, you used to have CDs selling on the streets, trying to get your music to the proper, you know, people. Making ends meet and trying to get to the right source. Exactly. The right sources, yeah. So now everything is about streaming, everything is about, you know, finding the right people. So now after that, you know, I was like, you know what, these guys don't have a ton of resources. I want to be that brand for them, you know what I'm saying? Yes. So now currently I consult with Madadan, I consult with Jahar, I consult with a ton of artists all around the world, to be honest. Which is great. Which is great, you know, because it kind of diversifies my portfolio. Right. But, you know, managing them, trying to figure out certain things that they should do, certain trends that they should do, you know, what is your passion? So, yeah, I got into the consulting. Then I met this company called Voiceless Music LLC, which is in Queens. Okay. And shout outs to John, R.E.A.L, but he's also known DJ Mainstream. And he introduced me to a ton of great people. Black Out the Rebels, Chanel Scott, you know, a ton of great people. Yeah, sounds wonderful. And like, so exciting. Yeah, and I only like 7/13, which is tomorrow, will make a year since I've worked with the company, and I can't tell you that my ambitions and my level of confidence has risen past the roof. You know, I was able to curate my own personal event. You know, I'm curating my own personal event, a networking event, 7/22, and you're definitely invited to come through. Oh, absolutely, I'm gonna come through, of course. But yeah, so you just gotta text me the address, put my name on that list, and I'm there. Yeah, you there? Yeah, so, I'm there. So, but yeah, that's what we hear now, and now we're here having this conversation, Gina. Yeah, I'm just really honored. Listen. Because first of all, you're youth, and that's very, very important right now at this time. And that thing. Yeah, it's extremely important. And then coming from Syracuse, I know originally from Harlem anyway. I love Harlem to death. I love Harlem to death. I mean, you know, getting out to Syracuse University was never the goal. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wanted to go to Washington and go to school down in Washington. But when I seen the package for Syracuse University, I was like, I gotta go. Yeah, absolutely. That Orange School. Yeah. So. You know, so coming from Harlem and then going to Syracuse University, I think that's a huge level up for me.
Okay.
You know, so.
And you enjoy the campus and the school and the studies, everything
it's great. I mean, now I'm majoring in marketing at the School of Whitman.
Okay.
I want to minor in economics too, you know.
Okay.
I mean? But I don't let the degree define my dream or define my career, if that makes sense, you know.
It does to me.
You know.
I believe wholeheartedly that young people should follow their dream and do what's in their heart and be the best at whatever they do.
Exactly. So even though I study marketing, you know, I want to be able to understand, you know, health industry. I want to understand politics, music, technology, because all these industries come together at one point. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean? They end up coming and intertwining to each other. So if you don't know how the tech industry is moving, then you won't understand how the music industry is moving or the fashion industry, because everything ends up coming together.
Yeah.
So I try to define myself as this mogul, as this, you know, this young mogul in the industry that understands all these industries, because all these industries end up coming together. But my main focus is the music industry.
Okay. And with this, you also give them the guidance to put that G on them, or how to dress, and like I'm giving them a style.
So let's say for you, right? Let's say you're a hip hop artist, right?
Okay.
And let's say, you know, you're very, you know, like spoken word and spoken word. So I would tell you, like, study previous people, like you have Q-Tip and Muhammad and all those guys. I say, so study what they was wearing. You know, a lot of them was wearing Pan-African, you know, Pan-African wardrobe. So maybe you could use that in terms of your brand, in terms of your music.
Right.
And that can correlate with what you do. I might tell you maybe, hey, you know, try to figure out this word illusion so that people can remember that past. You know what I'm saying? So I try to give artists that type of direction on their music and stuff like that, because you want people to reminiscent of past events and future events and things that kind of relate to them. And that's what all music is about. How can you, as the artist, give me a story so I can relate to? You know?
I agree. I mean, that just makes sense.
Right.
And it's fun making sense. Like, in other words, while you're creating yourself and who you're going to be, you're also having fun with who you really are.
Yeah.
So that when the time comes and you get a gig for acting and stuff, you could pick up all of these different levels.
Exactly. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to have not even just artists, but people outside to pick up whatever industry that you're in. The athletes too. Even the athletes too. Whatever industry that you're in, there's another industry that's impacting there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I've even told artists, like, listen, if you know an athlete and he's in NFL or NBA, whatever, try to see if you can contact him, have the license and then have all that legal stuff situated. Right. But see if you can get a track with him and him just, saying newest track featuring, Jalil Okafor, and Jalil Okafor will probably promote it, you'll promote it, and then people would be able to hear the song as well. And
identify too. Just a lot of times these people like a super fan basis, you know what I mean? Fans just the WWE and the football and basketball, and that they just got even tennis. Everybody just has all of these people that they're like I don't want to use the word idol, but they're like superstars, and people really want to treasure, like, even if it's just a second. They don't even have to do anything. I get you. Yeah. Just let them come and enjoy your whatever it is you're gathering, or be there at your concert and step up on the stage and just wave, or just whatever. Those kind of things. I mean, that really helps, and it really sells.
It does.
It definitely sells. So in marketing, that sells.
That sells, exactly. Yeah. But I love it. The point that you mentioned, Gina, is the idols. Yeah. And people looking up to people. I look up to Jay-Z, I look up to Nas, I look up to Diddy. These are guys that are black entrepreneurs, and I'm very heavy on black entrepreneurship. Yeah, and
me too.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's very important, because that is the way to kind of this economic freedom. Jay-Z talks about this all the time. It's a way for us to be economically free. Money rules the world, so you want to be able to kind of take that money and bring it back to the people, and only way to do it is through group economics, and there's been multiple studies on that as well too. But I love how you say idols. These idols, like we see these idols, and for me, I see these idols like Jay-Z, Diddy, and all these guys, and I'm like to myself, they're soon going to be my rivals. These guys are going to be my rivals. And that was a Rick Ross song. He said it like, these guys that you look up to, that you want to be, you push yourself to the limit to be them. You do the best that you can. You do everything. And then when you're on that same kind of level, that same platform, now you realize you guys are competing against each other, And it's a very, very interesting way. If you put it in, it's like, you have these idols, these athletes, and then you have, you there, and you know you're trying to make yourself closer and closer and closer. Now you realize you're on the same platform, so you're kind of competing, which shouldn't be the issue. It should be, okay, I set the idol. Now let's bring another person up, and then it keeps trickling.
But then the youth means that long term, if you're in it to really stay, that there's going to be a time where you just climax and you're on top. A lot of the people, not that they're not on top, but after they've been on top so many years, it's time that when we realize that mortality and these kind of things also exist, it's more of a basic, okay, I done this, I done that. I'm looking at my children now, and I think it's more of an obligation in a family responsibility. I shouldn't say obligation, because it's also in a loving way, in a loving term.
Of course.
But it's also that the dream and the wish that now I really want my son, my daughter to really even supersede this.
Yeah.
So I gotta pull myself out of the way and try to inspire. You see a lot of stars that take to the sky their children now, and they made 20 or 30 years or 40 years. And and then the great ones, you always see that, you see the great ones that are just really great, that that's legends, living legends. You see it happening with Diana Ross, and you see, you know what I mean, and you know that the kids, from some point in their life, although they have their own identities and their own things, but these sometimes their creativity just overflow their children too.
I mean,
and they just get out there and just go to, and they don't want you backhand or secondhand thing. They doing it on their own, out of their own initiative.
Exactly.
That youth, like what you were just saying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And and that's one thing. In order to kind of build that legacy, you have to learn from the past, right?
Exactly.
You got to learn from the past and figure out different ways that they've done in the past and try to implement those same skills into what you're doing.
Right.
And I was reading a good book, Think and Grow Rich. A lot of people have read that book.
Yes.
It's like one of the biggest like self-help books. And Napoleon Hill, right? I mean, there's two versions of it. There's the black version of it, and there's the kind of the white version of it.
Okay.
And both sides of the books talks about this idea of creativity.
Right.
And this idea of taking something that's been done in history, reinventing it and putting it into your own spin. And you're absolutely right, with all this creativity.
Well, history repeats itself, so that we know that what you're talking about, and when you put the vision on that, that's being done all the time.
Right.
It has to.
It has to.
Because as human beings, we can only do what human beings could do.
Exactly.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah.
So it's like what we were saying before, it's just like that history constantly repeats. But if you, as a host, can teach me proper skills, proper etiquette of how to host, like, proper attire, mic checks, coming in properly early before your show, making sure all the equipment is done and ready.
Right.
I've seen that history. I've seen all that. But now I'm going to add my own creativity spin to it and say, you know what? I see how Gina is. Maybe I'm not going to dress the way she dresses.
Right.
You know what I mean? Maybe I'm not going to talk the same way that she talks. Maybe I'm talking in a mellow voice,
Yeah.
Maybe I'm doing live performances and all this stuff. So again, like, there is a lot to learn from people that's older.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of creativity. There's a lot of creativity there. But you have to pick and choose which creativity you want to take. Absorb that content, and then put your own spin to it.
Absolutely.
Put your own spin to it.
And for me, it's just the opposite. I'd rather grab one for you. And that right there is just, it's just like the high point. It's as high as you can get. When the different generations can all be connected, and the youth, the next 5 years, the next 5 years, the next 5 years, all the way up until the living legends, we all can connect with this value of especially when it comes to music or sports. Everybody likes a winner.
Everybody loves a winner.
Everybody loves a winner. And everybody loves to be on the team of the winner.
Of course.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
I mean, look at how
You know what I mean?
I mean, look at how NBA is currently now. Back in the old days, you used to have every team kind of being the top dog. You had the New York Knicks being kind of.
Yeah, we've just been. It's just so sad. My heart is broken. You know what I mean? But this new guy that they got, I've been watching. The last few games, he really been doing his thing.
You talking about Knox, right?
Yep.
Yeah, he's really good.
really doing his thing. But the problem with the Knicks is that it can't just be one guy. They got to get 4 or 5 people, and they have to work as a clique. They have to be connected.
Mm-hmm.
And we can vision and we can see what's going to happen when they all start not give me the ball all the time. But then the other people have to be motivated to throw the ball in the hoop too.
Exactly.
And do
that's a good comparison right there.
And that our Knicks have been by the wayside about that. That's the only problem.
Right.
We always could grab one good player, whatever. But to have superhero Knicks, like back in the day with Dave DeBusschere and so forth, and all the individuals, Clyde Frazier, Earl the Pearl Monroe, and so forth, you gotta have the connection, and they have to want to play together. They gotta want to get the championship, because that's the main prize. Get the championship,
right? And
be in the special games where they get to play, and show their their excellent abilities. You know what I mean? And that's, of course, I always send them a prayer. But in the end, you always have to look at the better team, the team that goes out playing each and every day, each game like it's their last game. Like there's nothing to spare. The first game, they play like that to the last game.
Yeah.
There's nothing to spare. It's never time for foolishness. Score, let's win. Score, let's win. Relentless.
Yeah.
Those are your champions.
But again, I love how you compare it. Again, this conversation is all about, the youth and everything like that.
And youth is the thing that brings it out.
Brings it out. And the thing that I like that you said, it's like, we have to know when to give you the ball and then you to shine. You know what I mean? Or when to say, you know what, it's time for us to get collectively together and figure out some way to win. We have to win relentlessly, like you said. I love that word, relentlessly. Like it's
absolutely.
Competition, you know what I mean? Like relentlessly.
You gotta not just score, you gotta be blocking, you gotta be passing, you gotta be able to get all of those things going on in your game.
Of course.
30 points, 15 rebounds, 15 assists, so forth. And when everybody's doing that, chances are that team is going to win because they're connected. They're all on the same page. They're warriors with the same mind.
And there's no division.
And the youth is inspiring the old guys that normally would just, I don't want to say fly around that kind of, with that kind of pay. You know what I mean? With that kind of pay. But they already have the money in the bank already. You know what I mean? Because they get paid this extreme amount. People never even get that in a lifetime of working.
I do, yeah.
Yeah, ideally. You know what I mean? So when they come out and just flip and flop on the court and no energy or whatever, people never even get that kind of money in their whole lifetime working and have to retire. So at least they should come out with the excitement. That youth is inspiring them to, okay, I don't want to look bad. Because the new youth can come, they might want to retire my suit. I got to step it up. So that makes them put a little flame under there. Yeah.
It shouldn't be, the situation shouldn't be.
No, because they should want to win.
Right, they want to win. Both teams want to win. But it shouldn't be, okay, I see Gina is like, she set the stone. But it shouldn't be, I see this, I see Anthony on the bottom of it. I can't have Anthony come up. I got to keep pushing. It should be, let me teach Anthony some skills. Teach Anthony some skills. And I already had my time. You know what I'm saying? Like, Gina might say, I already had my time. Man, Anthony has, like what we said before, back to this idea of legacy. You want to succeed or overpass that legacy. You know what I'm saying? As a youth person, and you should be happy because you've seen the come up of that person. You was there with them, 24/7 in the studio, 24/7 on the field, 24/7 in the books. You was there 24/7, so you've seen the growth.
Yes.
The growth of that person. I think that's one thing we missed is the growth of an individual.
Yes. Very important.
And back to that's the one of the
and none of the selfishness that really care about the whole team and really, if you're singly doing it and you got to fight for your own self on like a tennis court or something like that, singles, that's different. You know that you have to put your all in on every single day.
Right.
And if there's no effort and there's no practice, unless you're just super, super, super good, but if you don't practice, you're not making your thing better.
It's even practice,
Yeah.
either learning,
Yeah.
right? Because like I said, like we said, there's people that do music. There's people that do basketball, but do they really study the game? Do they really sit down and actually say, you know what, I'm gonna go on YouTube, I'm gonna research, the latest basketball move, which is the under, the over and under. I don't know what these basketball terms are because I used to play football and track.
Right.
Are you looking at footage of prior musicians and saying, hey, this is what I need to work, or this is what I can take from this person and stuff like that. Or, even people like small bases, people be thinking that, I have to look up to these big head honchos when there's people around you in your day-to-day life
that you can look up to.
That you can look up to. And
Absolutely.
that's what we forget. And
well, we have so many heroes. We do.
It's a lifespan. It's a timeline, of all the people that you can pick, whether small, medium, big, up and coming, it doesn't matter who the person is. Growth is a thing for everyone. You know what I'm saying? I can take pieces from you today, I can take pieces from somebody else tomorrow.
Absolutely.
And it can grow me into a different person, to a bigger person, you know what I mean? Like, it's just something that I stress, And we all make mistakes,
absolutely.
A ton of us make a lot of mistakes.
We're human beings, so that tells you that.
It tells us a lot,
Yeah.
I mean, trust me, I made so much mistakes, even to this day I make so many mistakes, and I say sorry for some of them. Some of them I'm just like, I didn't really make a mistake. Like, we can just move on and take better. This idea of that karma.
Yeah.
But I think one of the things about growing is learning from your mistakes, as we say. It's just learning from your mistakes and being able to take those mistakes and not doing it again.
Exactly. Now, out of all of the things you like best, I know it's music, and I know it's sports, football, and track. Individually, you're young, but I mean, is there a particular young lady in your life, or is it somebody that a lot of the times? Or is it religion, or is it you don't have time for that because you're so busy? I mean, or is it the love of books? Is it the love of school? Is it the love of?
It's the
love of cars. I mean, whatever it is.
So the thing that
on a personal note, tell the audience what it is that really gives you a soothingness, very soothing.
The thing that gives me a soothing to me on a day-to-day basis, it's just the people.
Okay.
I call myself the people's DJ, that does the 3s and 4s at Syracuse, because seeing people, family, friends, colleagues, seeing them every day, gives me a sense of inspiration to go make it, to go beyond, just listen to their text messages, listening to them personally. It's just giving me that ambition to go get it. And I wake up every day to new people, to old people, friends and stuff like that. And I'm just like, yo, y'all guys make me want to go get it even harder. You know what I'm saying?
That's great.
And there's people that
you have a good relationship with your grandparents, and
I never met my grandparents before. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like, I know my grandma, but I never met my grandfather.
Okay.
But man, when it comes to my mom, my dad, my brother, my sister, shout out to you guys.
Okay.
But those are the guys that I'm gonna go thinning through for. Even my close friends, my friends, some of them I consider family.
Right.
Those are the guys.
Well, we all do.
Yeah.
A lot of our friends are family, and definitely, there's no doubt about that. And we love them, and we committed to them, and and we know that we're always there for each other, no matter what.
No matter what.
And we may not get to see each other as much as the circumstances before when we're around each other, but there's never a loss of love. That's not cause of that.
And that's what people get confused with. This. Like, just because I haven't seen you in 3 to 4 years doesn't mean that love is not there. The love is probably even greater because I haven't seen you in 3 to 4 years.
Yeah, because sometimes when I see some of the people that I really love and it's been a while, I just sometimes I have to really hold myself back. So much joy that I don't know cry, but I don't want them to think that. But you just love people like that, especially people that are those kind of people that really drive you, really inspire you, and that these people are just family. They're just so understanding and warm, and just those kind of people that really, do something that really pushes excellent karma and the goodness out of you.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And like what you said, they push you to do good energy and give good energy to people.
Yeah.
These people constantly in my life, they always giving me, ambitions, tips, certain things that I should do in order to make myself, better for myself. And I definitely love them because it's just like, I gotta go get it. That's my mentality every day, because I want better for you. I want better for you. I want better for you. I have to go get out because I want better for you. And that's the thing that I've been emphasizing myself, you know, mostly this year in 2018 is just like, you know, I haven't been doing a lot of dumb stuff, you know. I just been focusing on how can I better people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Better the people around me. You know, maybe just by giving a smile, just by, you know, showing face and doing, you know, my hashtag Obas rants. I do an Obas rant on Twitter.
All right.
Twitter,
and get them that information too. So
yeah,
Charlie.
Yeah, so if you follow me on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook, I have a hashtag called hashtag Obas rants.
Yes.
And basically each day, sometimes it's motivational stuff, sometimes it's, you know, funny stuff about my life.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes it's just, you know, about talking about people,
Yeah.
you know, subliminal at people. But it gives people a sense of laughter. It gives people a sense of, like, you know, of joy.
Joy.
So that's what I do for every day, and I love it to give that to people.
Well, I can just tell you that this was great. This is part one. We don't even have enough time to really get deep into it. And we was concerned about, you know, that. But I got to thank you, Anthony, because you are just awesome. And if you guys out there, young, I hope you picked up something great from Anthony. And that is live your life, you know. Live your life and go reach for the sky. Because as you can see, this young man, he has it. And he's inspiring you to have it too. So we want to say goodbye, right, Anthony?
Yep. Have a good one, guys. Peace.
Yep. Peace.
B.E.A.T. B.E.A.T.